Hello, my friends. It's Christine Ludwig from Christine Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Albert, Alberta. And welcome to my Mystery Monday video today for Monday, February the 2nd, Groundhog Day. Did anybody's groundhog see their shadow this morning? I haven't even paid attention much to that. Here it is sunny, so I'm guessing here he probably did see his shadow, but the official groundhogs, I'm not sure. Wyerton Willie, I think, is our Canadian groundhog, so I haven't heard if he saw his shadow wherever he hangs out, so have to check in on that later. So I hope you're having a good start to the new month. Short month, actually, and then we're heading into spring, so that's always exciting. So today we're going to do a fairly simple card. It has just a couple of steps to it, but it's not a fun fold. But we are going to use this Gallery Blooms bundle, which is a stamp set and dies, a bundle that is in our large annual catalog. And I think I've mentioned this before. Sometimes we get so excited about our online exclusives and our new mini catalogs that we kind of forget about what's in our annual catalog. And there are some really great projects in there and some, great products. So always, fun to look through what they do with some of these stamp sets. And you can certainly try to recreate a lot of them. And they're there to give you some inspiration and some ideas. So this Gallery Blooms, I just sort of resurrected this recently. I believe I did my Facebook Live was with this on Friday. So we are going to use it again today and make a completely different card. So we're going to use this image in the stamp set, and then these are the dies. Okay, so you get some really nice ones that cut out these floral images. So this one, thankfully, we were able to use a die, or we are going to use a die. So you don't have to fussy cut some of these, which is great. And then we're going to use this frame. And I thought this is really unique because you can get some really great projects using frames sometimes. And so I just wanted to point out when we use this die, I don't know if you can see it, but there are 3 sizes of frames that will cut out with one pass of this die. So when you cut it out, when you use the die on your cardstock and through your die cutting machine, this is what you end up with. You end up with 3 different sizes of frames. Well, 2 for sure. This centerpiece can be used for a greeting, which is actually what I'm going to do. Use the center part for a greeting. But here you have the option of using 2 different sizes. So for, a larger one and then a smaller one. So multi-purpose die, this particular one, which I thought was really, really neat. Okay, so let's show you what we are going to make. We are going to make this card here. Very simple. Only uses 2 colors, well, 3 colors of cardstock, including the white. But this is Basic Beige and Secret Sea. And I made this as a sympathy, but I think we'll maybe switch it up for a different greeting for our sample and our floral image that we used from the Gallery Blooms die, or stamp set, sorry. Okay, so let me get my supplies out and I'll show you what we're going to do. So we're starting with a piece of Secret Sea cardstock, which is one of our in colors that was new this year. My favorite. And 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I will post all these measurements on the post, and I'll also put the video on YouTube if you want to check it out later. Okay, so our Secret Sea is our base, and then we're using that Basic Beige for a layer. And I did run this through an embossing folder. And it is the Exposed Brick embossing folder. I love this one. It's a 3D folder, but it's just so beautiful for card backgrounds and things. It's just got a lot of sort of texture to it, right? And you can see some of the brick in there and sort of like a splatter. I just really, really like this embossing folder. Okay, so let's put on our layer right here on top of our Secret Sea. Okay, and then I did use, when I cut out those frames, I'll just bring them back, I used this smaller one, okay, because it fit nicely on my card. This larger one would be a nice sort of outline frame on your card base if you wanted to use that. That's how large it is. It'd be also great in scrapbooking as well, both of these. If you wanted to, you know, put some photos behind them and stuff, that would be really fun. So when I cut those out, I also embossed that frame with that same exposed brick embossing folder. If you can see that around, I thought it would just make it look really, you know, kind of coordinate and kind of a monochromatic. And then instead of just putting it on the beige, I thought, you know what, let's break up those layers. Excuse me, frog in my throat this morning. I'm just going to get a sip of coffee, 1 second. Oh my gosh, I was fine until I started talking. Okay. So I did cut another layer of that Secret Sea just to kind of break up that monochromatic look a little bit. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on here. And then we're going to just stick it on top of that little mat. Ah! Oh my gosh, I should have been careful with that. Ew, adhesive. I should maybe use liquid glue. That might have been a better option. So whatever you are comfortable with, but yeah, that can happen. Okay, so let's just do this on top. You know what? This is a little bit dark in this light, so let me take that away. Okay, so we're just going to give it that little bit of a Secret Sea border all around. And just give that a little press. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to put this on top, but I'm going to pop it up with some dimensionals. So I have some that are sort of the border pieces on my paper. As you can see, it's kind of a mess, but they still work. So I just sort of snip these into pieces. You could just tear them apart as well if you want, but they still work. So let's use them up. So I'm going to put a few on here, probably overdoing how many I actually need, but I'll make sure this isn't going to move. I don't think it will. Okay. Sure to get all of these off. All right, there we go. So we're just going to sort of lay this in the center. I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, give it a little press. Right, whoops, right there. Okay, so then what I did is I took just a scrap piece of basic white cardstock and I stamped this floral image from the Gallery Blooms in Secret Sea ink, okay? So I stamped that on the basic white and then I cut it out with a coordinating die, all right? And this is how it is. Now this is a great image if you want to use your Stampin' Blends to color. And I think that's what I did on my Facebook Live. We did some blending with this. This is a really nice stamp to do that with, but I am just going to leave it. I want it very, very simple. So again, I'm not going to pop it up because this layer's already popped up, but I am just going to put some adhesive on here and we're going to lay it down flat. Now, if you wanted to pop it up, you certainly can. There's nothing to say you can't, but I'm just going to lay it down flat and I'm going to sort of tuck it in this bottom frame and put it in at a bit of an angle so it's like popping out of the frame, just like that. Okay, I love how simple and beautiful this is. Oh, okay. So then for our greeting, I did use that scrap piece of that was cut with the frames, and the greetings I'm using here are actually from a retired set. So they're from the Unbounded Love, which I love. So many wonderful greetings in here, some for the front of the card, some that coordinate for the inside of the card. So my sample was with Sympathy, but this one I'm doing May All Your Wishes Come True. So you could turn this card, it can be a sympathy, but it can also be a birthday or a happy anniversary or a celebrate. Like, it can be for any occasion. And then I stamped that also in the Secret C. And then I cut this out with a die from the Inspiring Imperfections bundle. So I used this die right in here. I thought I really liked those sort of scalloped ends of this particular die in there. Okay, so I'm just going to put this here on the sort of bottom right, and I'm just going to put some adhesive down here. I'm not going to pop this up either because I don't want it to be, too bulky going into an envelope. So I think just doing those ends are fine. I'm going to put it down flat. I'm sorry for the shadow in here this morning. Okay, let's put it in there. And then we're going to add some linen thread. So I took about a 14-inch piece, cut it in half, and did a double bow with the linen thread. And we'll just put that on with a glue dot or two. And if you wanted to use like a blue ribbon or a blue twine, if you have anything like that, that would go too. Doesn't have to all be the browns. The blue, if you had something in Secret C or even a navy. Oh my gosh, my bow just malfunctioned for a sec. Okay, so we're going to put this over here. Okay, and those tails, I think we can just trim off a teeny bit. I thought I would tie my bow in advance because, it's always a challenge for me, tying bows. Some days it's great, other days, you know how it goes. Some people are just so gifted at that. Okay, and last I'm going to add a couple of embellishments, and they are from the Moody Palette Glossy Dots. So I'm not sure off the top of my head if these were an online exclusive or if they are in the new mini, but they're fairly new, I believe. And they have the Old Olive, the Cloud Cover, and the Secret C, which I think are a beautiful combination. And and we also have I think that's white at the top. Kind of hard to tell in this light, but all right. I'm gonna put the other one down here. That's okay too. And there you go, a fairly simple card. But I think that embossing with that embossing folder adds a lot to just the look and the texture of this card. And like I say, if you wanted to do some blending on that, you could, but I just like the simplicity of just the outline of that in the Secret C. So I hope you like that project. Give it a try. If you have that gloomy Gallery Blooms bundle, it is still available to the end of this catalog. And then we'll see if it's going to be retired or not. But for now, it is still available. So try that out. And especially these frame dies. I think those are awesome. Those can be used on lots of different projects. Okay, folks, I hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.